and the surprise pole winners from qualifying today, and MotoGP, the Valencia Grand Prix is this weekend. Can Mir go on and win the championship? Third place or better, but who does he have to beat? All that Grid Live. Hello and welcome to Grid Live Pre-Race. Very excited to have you joining us. Joe Samaniego here, and we got Jessica from Paddock Insight joining us as well today. We only have 2 races this weekend in the grid ranking. Of course, that is Formula 1 and MotoGP. Kobe, who is usually here with us, is covering the 12 hours of Sebring. And of course, if you saw this morning, we had a special 12-hour Sebring pre-race show as well. Definitely encourage everyone to check that out. In the video description is the link. You'll be back Sunday on Grid Life Post Race. We'll start with Formula 1, a wet qualifying, and a surprise pole sitter.
That's right, because for the first time since 2011, Formula 1 returns to Istanbul for the Grand Prix of Turkey, and many are talking about the return of the famous Tour 8. Also, if Lewis Hamilton finishes ahead of Bottas, he grabs up the championship. And Joy, do you see Lewis Hamilton claiming the championship this weekend?
I do see Lewis Hamilton claiming the championship this weekend, and we encourage all our viewers. Wrap it up. For him, it's pretty simple. Just finish ahead of Valtteri Bottas. He's going to be starting ahead of him by 3 positions. I know we'll get into the starting lineup a little bit later in the program. I do see him going out there. He has experience at this track from GP2, Formula 1. I see Lewis Hamilton winning the championship, having it wrapped up by the end of the weekend.
Now Mercedes has 7 championships now with this year win. Lewis Hamilton getting another championship this weekend will grab up the drivers. So the drivers like Max Verstappen, Leclerc, and everyone to know another year done. Is it dismotivating when the championship is wrapped up so early?
For the drivers, it is motivating to see the championship essentially be wrapped up this quickly. This means they did not deliver to expectation, especially for Red Bull. Red Bull came out. A lot of folks saw them as a potential contender for the Drivers' Championship with Max Verstappen. A lot of folks were looking at Ferrari. Of course, we all know Ferrari, they didn't have the pace in preseason testing. A lot of folks hope they'll turn it around. That didn't happen. So for the championship to be wrapped up, if it's wrapped up tomorrow, this early, it really just an indicator that everyone's way behind Mercedes, and they have a lot of work to catch up. Same time for fans, too. Now that the championship could be wrapped up by this weekend, one of the things we talked about in Grid tonight, this could be where in the championship's wrapped up, we could see a lower audience, especially television. Yes, the loyal fans will keep watching, but the casual fans, knowing the championship's wrapped up, could stop watching and wait till next year.
That's right. Now taking a look at the top 10 qualifiers for tomorrow in the Turkish Grand Prix. And we have in the pole position the big surprise from Lance Stroll, second Max Verstappen, third Sergio Perez, fourth Alex Albon, 5 Daniel Ricciardo, 6 Lewis Hamilton, 7 Esteban Ocon, 8 Kimi Raikkonen, 9 Valtteri Bottas, and 10 Antonio Giovinazzi. Is a big surprise for Alfa Romeo to be here in the top 10. And the big surprise, Lance Stroll on pole, which was confirmed by the stewards as they indicated that Lance Stroll respected the yellow flags. And Lewis Hamilton sits. What happened today to Mercedes?
With Mercedes, they just didn't have the tires working their way. One of the big things we've seen with Mercedes throughout the year when it comes to tire management, yes, Lewis Hamilton can do a good job conserving the tires, but compare him to Valtteri Bottas, which also seen the tire struggles. Today just didn't seem they were able to get that combination going in the rain. The wet weather, a lot of times we see drivers use the opportunity because the rain is a big equalizer. For Lance Stroll, the racing points, they look fast. Max Verstappen, his talent was really showing this weekend. And for Mercedes, they just could not get the car going. We know Lewis Hamilton's good in the rain. We know that car is fast, but just today they were just off the mark, nowhere compared to where they are if it was under dry conditions.
That's right. The rain played a big role in the qualifying today. Tomorrow weather is supposed to be the same condition, 14% chance of rain. If we get a rain race, how unpredictable would be the race?
This is going to be, I think, one of the best races we're going to see this year, no matter the weather condition. If we have a wet rain race, which is the same conditions that they're calling for today, they're calling for tomorrow, I anticipate you're going to see a battle up front between Max Verstappen and Lance Stroll. It's really going to come down to car control. We could see somebody from the back come up front with a better setup. A lot of things could happen in the wet weather. If we have a dry race tomorrow, if all the drivers start on slicks, or we see a race where it starts under wet conditions, goes to dry, you could definitely anticipate to see Mercedes start coming up towards the front. If the race starts dry, the Mercedes are going to be the fastest cars out there, and they're going to be racing their way towards the front. So there's all sorts of scenarios. I think this is going to be a really interesting race tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of action no matter the weather conditions.
That's right. The last race, a surprise podium again for Daniel Ricciardo with Renault. Red Bull had a road race with no points, and many anticipates Alex Albon will not be back. What does Red Bull do entering this weekend?
For Red Bull, after this last weekend at Imola, where they no podiums, Alex Albon spun out on a late restart. Of course, Max Verstappen with a tire puncture that put him in the gravel trap. Their big goal, rebound, get a podium. Max Verstappen is in a really good position to get the win. Starting second. Mercedes, they're 6th place, 9th place. So they're out of the picture. You just got to go out there, beat Lance Stroll. And one of the advantages, I know we've talked about this in other racing series like NASCAR and IndyCar, when you have a driver going out there for their first win, they're going to probably be a little bit more nervous compared to a driver that already has tasted victory. Max Verstappen has more experience than Lance Stroll, could easily try to follow, push Lance Stroll to make a mistake, get the win. And if he could get the win, that would be a big boost for Red Bull to say, we're back. What happened in Imola is behind us. We're going to come out swinging.
That's right. Do you see Renault or another surprise team on the podium for the race?
I do see that possibility, especially if we do have a wet race. Unless some sort of bad luck occurs, I anticipate at least one of the Racing Point vehicles on the podium. We know Sergio Perez is good in the rain. Lance Stroll, he has a fast car with Perez. One of those two should easily be in the podium. If Max Verstappen doesn't do anything wrong, has a good race, he'll be on the podium. So we could have a real mixed, different podium. And of course, if we have rain, and if it comes down throughout the race and mistakes all around, I would not be surprised if we see somebody like Kimi Räikkönen, who is in the top 10, take advantage and try to be on the podium. I don't anticipate anything higher than 3rd place. And I anticipate that would be a crazy scenario, but I do think we could see potentially at least Racing Point on the podium.
Yeah, if Kimi Räikkönen will be motivating, he can do something great tomorrow. And let's take a look at the Istanbul track. And they have 370 miles long, 317 kilometers, and have 14 corners around this track. And Juan Pablo Montoya holds the race lap record. Joy, will the track record be beaten during the race?
I do see the track record falling down in this race with the cars. They're much different, and it's just amazing to think Montoya has the race record. Of course, we have been here since 2011, but the cars have really advanced with this turbo hybrid area, and now with DRS. I see this where the track record, we're going to have a new track record at the conclusion of Sunday's race.
That's right, and let's see what happens. It's a very difficult race to the rain tomorrow, and we will see who will.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what will happen tomorrow. I think it's going to be a really exciting race. And of course, another exciting race that's going to be coming up is MotoGP. MotoGP Valencia Grand Prix. Now, last weekend, it finally happened. The ninth different winner in MotoGP this year. And it was another first time winner, Joan Mir. And it was one of the most critical moments in his career to win a race. Leading the championship with 2 races remaining, he made a statement this last weekend. I know Kobe and I had talked about he had no wins, but was leading the championship. Now he has a win, and he's getting closer to that championship. Jessica, did Mir winning last weekend come as a surprise to you?
No, because Joan Mir is a very talented driver, and it was a way of showing that he's to beat among the best. He has an excellent way of beating his rivals, and his bike has accompanied his performance through the championship. Unfortunately, he didn't have a great day today, but he's one of the most talented in the championship.
Very talented. I know he is looking really good, and I know while it was a little bit of a surprise to see the win come, especially considering he was started a little further back, he has a talent, he has a good bike, so definitely I would agree with you on that. Now, of course, there's 9 different winners, and we're now down to the last 2 races of the year. If Mir finishes 3rd place or better, he will win the championship, have it wrapped up. Now, Mir is starting 12th for tomorrow's race. Quartaro, main rival, 11th, 1 spot ahead of him. Do you think Mir finishes ahead of Quartaro and get 3rd place or better tomorrow in the race?
Yes, I think Fabio Quartararo could be the better place than Fabio, because it has less drawbacks than the driver of Yamaha, and I think it will be better than him. Yamaha has a lot of problems during these all weekends with the Valentino Rossi coronavirus, and Maverick Viñales had a lot of problems. The points, so I think Joan Mir could be much better than Quartararo.
I do agree. I do see where with Quartaro, the Yamahas, they don't seem to be 100% this weekend. The Suzuki, Mir, get out front, and that's the big battle. Be ahead of Quartaro. Once he has that done, then it's just stay ahead. Try to pick up as many positions as you can. Try to get towards the front. But at the end, if he finishes ahead, he knows he's going to grow his points lead. He is in a really good spot. Now let's take a look at the top 10 stars for the MotoGP race tomorrow. Of course, Franco Morbidelli got the pole. Jack Miller and Takaki Nakagami got 3rd place in the Honda. Of course, we all know a few weeks ago he got pole, went out the first lap. Zarco and Espargaro round out your top 5. And there's Vinales. Of course, we've been talking about his chances of trying to get the championship. Brad Binder and Miguel Oliveira round out the top 10. So definitely it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in tomorrow's race. And of course, one of the big things as well, too, Alex Rin, tied with Quartaro in the points, is starting 14th. Is that too far back for Alex Rin to come up and try to get a win?
Yes, Alex Rins didn't have a good Saturday, and Suzuki knows how it's difficult. Will be for him not be among the first tomorrow. He has many positions to overcome, and races who have gone very fast this weekend. So Alex Rins has have a lot of work to do tomorrow to be in the first places.
A lot of work tomorrow for Alex Rins. I know he has a fast bike. I could easily see him in the top 10. Getting to the front will be really hard. And one of the things I think will be really interesting as well to see if he starts working his way towards the front and gets to his teammate Mir, will he race just as hard or be a little extra careful knowing that's his teammate and, of course, championship points leader for Suzuki? Of course, that's going to be really big as well following that. One of the big news, I know you mentioned a little bit earlier, was about Valentino Rossi. On Tuesday, Valentino Rossi tested positive for COVID-19, but then 2 tests showed negative results followers and is racing this weekend. We know Yamaha this weekend, they don't seem to have that good of a bike setup. Earlier last week, Yamaha was handed a penalty for illegal engine in Jerez. That includes constructor point penalty, so they're no longer first. They fell back to third. If Yamaha doesn't win the Constructors' Championship, is this a big missed opportunity for the Yamaha team?
Yes, the irregularity during the season, the mechanical failures, and the repair of the engines, loss of points in the championship, making it difficult for the Japanese brand to get the title. And they lack a regularity during this season, and he lost a great opportunity to make with Honda out of this fight for the championship, and now Yamaha have to fight with Suzuki for the championship. So I think Yamaha didn't get the title this year.
Yeah, it doesn't seem this year they're going to get the title, and it's a big missed opportunity. One of the big things, of course, with Honda not getting a win this year, this was an easier opportunity to get it, and it looks like that is now out of reach, and especially with everything and the irregularities this year, as you mentioned. It's just been something else. And of course, this year we've seen even KTM Tech 3 racer Miguel Oliveira get a win earlier this year, but his teammate Iker Lacuna tested positive for COVID-19, will sit out tomorrow's race. So we only have 20 starters for tomorrow's race with him sitting out. Jessica, one question we have, I know Kobe and I, we have discussed a lot, especially with NASCAR, about the championship scenario and the drivers. How important is it for especially MotoGP to ensure that Mir, Quartaro, Rins, and even Vinales are healthy and keep the championship fight going and not miss a race?
They have to take care every possible precaution to stay away from the virus. Fortunately, Vinales was not infected by his team, and others have to take their precautions. Missing a race means losing option for the championship, and they have to keep safe to finish the season. They only have 2 races tomorrow and then in Portugal, so they have to take all the precautions they could be.
A lot of precautions. One of the big things, of course, we don't want to see a driver get eliminated from the championship because he missed a race. So definitely, especially for Vinales, I know with that scare from Valentino Rossi, the team, to test negative, of course, that has to be a huge relief for not only Vinales, but the fans, as well as MotoGP, wanting to see an exciting championship that, if not decided tomorrow, will come down to the last race of the year. Now, with that said, 2 races, of course, remaining, so it's almost over. But of course, if Mir finishes lower than third place, the championship will continue to the last race. And this is really true, especially if Quartaro, Rins, or Vinales finishes ahead of Mir. Now, only Vinales is starting the top 10. Everyone else is further back. We got 11th, 12th, and 14th place. Who do you think is feeling the most pressure tomorrow to go out there and have the best race in the MotoGP Valencia Grand Prix?
I think it will be a big win for everyone this season, but all eyes will be on Mir to see if he can come back like Rins. It seems to me that if we have to talk about pressure, this time is for Suzuki because both riders have option for the championship, and I think Yamaha is thinking for the next season. Así que all the pressure is about Suzuki.
Suzuki, a lot of pressure. Both riders going for the championship. Last thing they would want is to see the 2 championship drivers accidentally take each other out, cost the championship for both of them, and have Quartaro or Vinales in the Yamaha take advantage. I think there's going to be a lot of pressure for Vinales. He is further back in the points as well. He's starting up front. He knows if he could go out there, get a win, hope that Mir finishes lower than third place, try to stay within title reach, but he knows he needs to have a perfect race. So it is going to be really fun to watch tomorrow. Now, one of the big things we reported on Wednesday's grid tonight that the defending champion, Marc Marquez, will not return in 2020. Of course, no Honda has won this year, but Nakagami is starting third. Last time we saw a couple weeks ago, he was on the pole, was looking really fast, but went out on the first lap. Does Honda have any chance of earning a win this season?
If Nakagami can capitalize on what he does over the weekend, takes the necessary rise to reach position, he could be a big winner for Honda. Between him and Alex Marquez, who in the ending could reach the podium, are the ones who have had to stand up for Honda. Where we can also say that after a terrible fall in qualifying, Alex Marquez was declared fit for tomorrow's race.
Yeah, Honda, Nakagami could probably deliver. If Alex Marquez could put together a good race, we'll see what he'll do. It's definitely going to be really interesting to see what happens at the Valencia Grand Prix tomorrow for MotoGP. We're definitely going to be following that race and, of course, bringing in updates on our Twitter as well. And we encourage everyone to be sure to follow Jessica on Paddock Insight on Twitter, as well as YouTube for all MotoGP related coverage. Now, for our favorite part of the program, pick a winner.
Yes. This weekend is really difficult in both races, but if I had to pick a winner in Formula, starting with MotoGP, I will say Franco Morbidelli again. He has the bike in all conditions, in the good conditions for be the winner again. And let's see what happens tomorrow in Valencia.
Franco Morbidelli, good pick. I think it's going to be Jack Miller in the Ducati. He has had some good races. The last few races hasn't been 100% there, but after qualifying up it towards the front, if he could deliver a good race, I could potentially see him taking the win and bringing it home for Ducati. Now, when it comes to Formula One, who do you think is going to take the win?
Really difficult because we have Lewis Hamilton in the sixth place. So Racing Point is really strong in this weekend with this track. I will say, but we have Max Verstappen to another great rider for this weekend, and I will say Red Bull will be the winner this weekend with Max Verstappen.
Max Verstappen is in a prime place to get a win, especially with Mercedes starting further back. As much as I want to say Lance Stroll, maybe Sergio Perez, I just feel too often the Racing Point teams can't get the job done. Something will, whether it's strategy not working well, the setup, they always seem to miss some sort of opportunity to get floored and podium finished. So I would have to say I too will go with Max Verstappen getting a win. And we encourage all our viewers to share with us who do you think is going to win the MotoGP Formula One race. We'd love to hear from you as well. Definitely, I know a little bit of a shorter program just because we only have the two races, but we definitely want to thank everyone for watching. We do have a couple special announcements. Tomorrow, Grid Live Post Race will be on the air noon Eastern. Myself, Kobe, and Jessica will all be here to recap the MotoGP Formula One race. We're definitely going to be very excited to recap, especially if you're in the United States. Before watching the National Football League football games at 1 p.m., be sure to watch us at noon Eastern. We're going to highlight all the races, and then, of course, we will rebroadcast our program at 7:30 Eastern U.S. as well, our traditional time slot. And then for December and January, Grid Network will expand to 2 news programs. Of course, in the off-season, not a whole lot of racing going on. So Wednesday, Grid Tonight, and then Saturday, Grid Live Pre-Race will feature all the news occurring since Wednesday up to Saturday morning. So be sure to tune in to us. We're not going away anytime too soon. We'll be definitely on the air, and we definitely encourage everyone to join our Patreon, help keep us on the air. We're definitely starting off. We're growing. We're expanding. We got some more media credentials for next year. We'll be sharing that in our monthly report for our Patreon supporters. Right now, we have Colin. We have plans starting as low as $5 a month. We encourage everyone to join our Patreon, help us expand our coverage of motorsports because we love doing this. I know Kobe right now doing IMSA will be talking IMSA on Sunday as well. So definitely comment, like, subscribe to the Grid Network. Before we go off the air, we do want to recognize the unfortunate passing of Jim Pace. Jim, of course, IMSA driver, won the 1996 Rolex 24 Hours at Daytona, and Mobile won 12 Hours of Sebring, which is going along this weekend. He won those races with co-drivers Wayne Taylor and Scott Sharp back in 1996. We definitely thinking of his family throughout this tragic, tough time. For Jessica at the Paddock Insight, my name is Joe Sandiego of Grid Network. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the races.